Well, in our previous lesson, we discussed about Peninsular Plateau and two of its major divisions, Malwa Plateau and Chota Nagpur Plateau. In today's lesson, we shall be focusing on another portion of Peninsular Plateau, that is Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau is one of the oldest landforms of peninsular India and it covers a large part of it. The region, as we can see here, is dissected by a number of rivers. So this map shows the region of Peninsular Plateau and its three major divisions, that is Malwa Plateau, Chota Nagpur Plateau and Deccan Plateau. Now we can see here Malwa Plateau forms the northwestern part of Peninsular Plateau and Chota Nagpur Plateau lies in the northeast. And the Deccan Plateau covers the central and southern part of Peninsular Plateau. In fact, Deccan Plateau forms a major part of this region. Now, the word Deccan is derived from a Sanskrit word Dakshina or Dakhin, where Dakhin means south. And this region is called so because, as we can see here, Deccan Plateau comprises the southern part of Indian Peninsula and therefore this region is known as Deccan Plateau. Now, Deccan Plateau is bounded by several mountain ranges. The western edge of Deccan Plateau rises sharply from the surrounding area and it is known as Western Ghats, while the eastern boundary of Deccan Plateau is known as Eastern Ghats. So Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats form two boundaries of Deccan Plateau to the west and east respectively. And these two mountain ranges meet at Nilgiri Hills. Now also, as we can see here, the northern part of Deccan Plateau is bounded by Satpura ranges. So these are the boundaries of Deccan Plateau. Western Ghats lies to the west, Satpura range lies in the north and Eastern Ghats lies in the east of Deccan Plateau. Now before discussing about Deccan Plateau in details, let us explore more about Western and Eastern Ghats. Now as we know, Western Ghats forms the western boundary of Deccan Plateau. Another name for Western Ghats is Sahyadri. And Western Ghats is a continuous mountain range, as we can see here. That is, this range is mostly continuous and it extends up to Kanyakumari. Some of the important hills of Western Ghats are Nilgiri, where we know the Western and Eastern Ghats appear to meet. Again, Anaimalai Hills and Cardamom Hills. Now, can you name the highest mountain peak of Western Ghats? Well, the highest peak of Western Ghats is Anaimuri, that is situated at an elevation of 2695 meters, and Anaimuri belongs to Anaimalai Hills. Now, the Nilgiri Hills that belongs to the Western Ghats are famous for chocolate and beverages like tea and coffee. Well, Nilgiri Hills are also popularly known as Blue Mountains. Well, do you know why? This is because the strikingly blue color of the hills can be attributed to the clustered bloom of mass flowering plant species called Neela Kurunji. Well, these flowers abundantly grow on the slopes of Nilgiri Hills, which is why the mountain acquires a blue hue and therefore it is known as Blue Mountains. So therefore, Nilgiri Hills, which is a part of Western Ghats, is also known as Blue Mountains, where Nil refers to blue and Giri refers to mountains. Nestled within the Nilgiris or the Blue Mountains is Otakamundum, also known as Ooty, which is a famous hill station and a popular tourist destination of South India. Its cool climate and verdant green valleys attract large number of tourists round the year. Now, as a tourist, you can enjoy a long toy train ride of 26 kilometers and can also explore the tea plantations or tea gardens spread on the slopes of the Nilgiri hills. As mentioned previously, the eastern edge of Deccan Plateau is bounded by Eastern Ghats. Eastern Ghats are also known as Purba Ghat, and it is a discontinuous range of mountains, as we can see here. See, the Eastern Ghats is not a continuous range, rather it is broken and dissected at several places. So therefore, unlike Western Ghats, Eastern Ghats is a discontinuous mountain range. Well, the Eastern Ghats too offer many beautiful tourist attractions. One such place is Araku Valley. This valley is famous for its enchanting beauty, green fields, dazzling waterfalls, soothing climate, and a rich tribal culture. Many nature enthusiasts find these places extremely beautiful. Another popular tourist destination of Eastern Ghats is Papi Hills. Papi Hills are famous for huts which are known as Koleru. You can reside in these small huts and enjoy the beautiful nature. This place is also famous for a lake called Pamaleru Wagyu. Here, water trickles down the slopes of hills and accumulate at the lake. Many tourists enjoy a wonderful bath here. So, Papi Hills and Araku Valley are famous tourist destinations of Eastern Ghats. So, till now we have discussed that Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats form two boundaries of Deccan Plateau at the respective sites. We shall now discuss the differences between these two mountain ranges. Western Ghats, as we know, is a continuous mountain range, whereas Eastern Ghats is a discontinuous range and it is broken at several places by river deltas. Western Ghats are comparatively higher, and the average elevation of Western Ghats ranges between 1500 to 2000 meters, whereas Eastern Ghats are comparatively lower and the average elevation of Eastern Ghats ranges between 500 to 700 meters. So by comparing these two figures, you can understand that Eastern Ghats is almost half of the height of Western Ghats. As mentioned in the beginning of this lesson, the Deccan Plateau is dissected by a number of rivers. That is, this region is drained by several rivers. An important river of Deccan Plateau is River Godavari. River Godavari originates in Western Ghats and then it flows eastwards and finally drains into the Bay of Bengal. Another name for Godavari is Dakshin Ganga, or simply Ganga of the South. Well, we know that Ganga, which is a mighty river of India, drains into the region of northern plains. So Ganga is already present in the northern part of the country, and river Godavari, which is present in the southern half of the country, is known as Ganga of the South, or simply Dakshin Ganga. Let us explore the reason why. Well, river Godavari is known as Dakshin Ganga because among all the rivers that flow in Deccan Plateau, river Godavari is the largest one in terms of its length, volume or water holding capacity and catchment area. Thus, river Godavari is the longest river of peninsular India. In fact, it is the second longest river in India. So river Godavari is the longest river of peninsular India, that is the southern part of India, and the second longest river in whole India. So since river Godavari is the longest and largest river in southern India or peninsular India, therefore it is also known as Dakshin Ganga or Ganga of the south. Now before proceeding with our lesson, let us try to answer this. Which of the following rivers is known as Dakshin Ganga? The options given are Yamuna, Brahmaputra, Godavari or Krishna. Well, which of them do you think is the correct option? We just read that river Godavari is known as Dakshin Ganga or Ganga of the south because it is the longest river of peninsular India. So the correct option is river Godavari. Now apart from river Godavari, other important rivers of Deccan Plateau are Mahanadi, Krishna and Kaveri. Well, just like Godavari river, river Krishna and Kaveri originates in the western Ghats and then they flow eastwards and join Bay of Bengal. Whereas Mahanadi originates in the Deccan Plateau region and then it flows into the Bay of Bengal. So we can see here that all these rivers flow to the east and drain into the Bay of Bengal. So we can say that they are east flowing rivers. So from this we can conclude that Deccan Plateau is a region that slopes to the east. So all the river flows eastwards and they join Bay of Bengal. Now the rivers draining into the Bay of Bengal like Mahanadi, Godavari and Krishna form large deltas. Also, tidal forests rich in mangrove trees develop at the deltaic regions of these rivers. So, the mouth of these rivers like Mahanadi, Godavari and Krishna are characterized by large river deltas where tidal forests develop. So, river Godavari, Krishna, Kaveri and Mahanadi are important peninsular river and they drain the region of Peninsular Plateau. Now, in our previous lessons, while discussing about northern mountains and northern plains, I mentioned about several rivers that originate in the Himalayan region and drain the northern plains, and they are known as Himalayan rivers. So, there are two river systems in India, one in the north which are known as Himalayan rivers and one in the south which are known as peninsular rivers. We shall now discuss about the differences between these two river systems of India. Let us first start with the Himalayan rivers. Well, the Himalayan rivers, as we know, originate in the snow-capped Himalayan region and they are perennial in nature. That is, these rivers never dry up and they have water all the year because they are snow fed. That is, these rivers are formed when large glaciers melt and give birth to several rivers. So therefore these rivers are perennial in nature and they have water round the year. Conversely, peninsular rivers originate in the Deccan mountains or the western boundary of the Deccan Plateau, that is the Western Ghats, and these rivers are seasonal in nature. Now the word seasonal means that these rivers do not have water round the year and they dry up during summer season. This is because unlike Himalayan rivers, peninsular rivers are not snow fed, that is they are not born due to melting of glaciers. Rather, peninsular rivers are rain-fed, that is, these rivers increase in volume during monsoon season or during rainy days. And therefore, these rivers are seasonal rivers because in India, it does not rain throughout the year. So, these rivers are seasonal in nature and they dry up during summer season. The second point of difference between these two river systems is that Himalayan rivers flow on the level surface of the northern plains and these rivers are useful for navigation and irrigation. Conversely, peninsular rivers flow on the rocky uneven surface of the peninsular plateau, and these rivers are neither navigable nor suitable for irrigation. Well, as we know that peninsular rivers are seasonal in nature and they dry up during summer months. So, navigation or irrigation is not possible via these rivers. Whereas Himalayan rivers have water round the year and they are perennial rivers. So, due to this, Himalayan rivers are useful for navigation and irrigation purposes. Well, again, the Himalayan rivers are quite large and mighty and they carry down huge amount of silt and alluvium. This silt and alluvium eventually get deposited in the plains, and this is how the northern plains of India are formed. That is, the northern plains are formed due to huge deposition of silt and alluvium by the Himalayan rivers. Now, coming to peninsular rivers. Peninsular rivers do not carry huge amount of silt and alluvium because these rivers are swift flowing rivers. So, their swift current do not let them deposit any silt and they quickly drain into the Bay of Bengal. So, these are the major differences between the two important river systems of India, that is the Himalayan rivers and the peninsular rivers. The main point of distinction between them is that Himalayan rivers are snow-fed and therefore they are perennial in nature, whereas peninsular rivers are rain-fed and are therefore seasonal in nature. Also, Himalayan rivers are important for navigation and irrigation purposes, whereas perennial rivers are not. Now, let us explore more about Deccan Plateau. So, we discussed that many peninsular rivers drain the region of Deccan Plateau, and these rivers offer mesmerizing sights of waterfalls. Well, a plateau, as we know, is a highland with a flat top and steep edges. Now, the rivers flowing in this region often falls down sharply or steeply from the sides of these edges and give rise to many waterfalls. Some famous waterfalls of the Deccan Plateau region are Jog Falls and Kunchikal Falls. Now, as we can understand from this map, both these waterfalls are situated in the state of Karnataka. Also, Kunchikal Falls is the highest waterfall in India and it has an approximate elevation of 550 meters. Well, an important region of Deccan Plateau is Deccan Trap. This region comprises the state of Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, a large portion of Maharashtra and some portion of Karnataka and Telangana. Now, what is this Deccan Trap region? Well, trap is actually a Swedish word which means steps or stairs. In geology, the term trap is used to explain step-like formations. Now, Deccan Trap region is called so because this region is characterized by step-like hills, as we can see in this picture, and it almost looks like a staircase, isn't it? Now, this Deccan Trap region, which is a part of Deccan Plateau, is one of the oldest landforms in India, and it was formed due to massive volcanic eruption in distant past. Now, let us see how this landform was formed. Well, millions of years ago, lava flowed out or escaped through the cracks or fissures present on the Earth's surface, and therefore it is known as fissure volcanic eruption. Now, the lava gradually spread out and eventually cooled down and hardened to form sheets or layers. Thus, This is how the Deccan Trap region was formed, and it now consists of several layers of solidified lava. Now, owing to its volcanic origin, this Deccan Trap region is rich in black soil. This black soil is extremely good for growing cotton. So, in India, cotton is grown mainly in the Deccan Trap region, which is rich in black soil. And the leading producers of cotton in India are the states of Gujarat and Maharashtra, which are the part of Deccan Trap region or Deccan Plateau. So this brings us to the end of today's discussion on Deccan Plateau. Deccan Plateau forms a significant part of peninsular India, and it is also a part of Peninsular Plateau. Then we discuss about the important boundaries of Deccan Plateau. The western edge of Deccan Plateau is known as Western Ghats, whereas the eastern boundary of this region is known as Eastern Ghats. And at the north we have Satpura ranges, and then we compared between Eastern and Western Ghats. We also pointed out some of the important rivers that drain the Deccan Plateau region. And finally, we discuss about the Deccan Trap region. So this is all about today's discussion on Deccan Plateau. In our next lesson, we shall be focusing on another important physical division of India, that is the coastal plains of India. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon. You can also register for free at DeltaStep.com or download the DeltaStep app to learn one-to-one with our amazing teachers, or to get access to our 5,000 amazing videos as per your school syllabus. Master each topic with our adaptive practice technology. Get million-plus questions with step-by-step solutions and unlimited mock tests. Get all your doubt resolved instantly. Learn via games and win amazing prizes like PlayStations and iPads. So at DeltaStep, learning is not just fun and easy, but it's rewarding too. So register for free now.